The other day in class, you missed the poetry analysis that we did for The Road Not Taken by Robert Frost. So I'm going to try and hit a couple of those really key points that we went over, and hopefully that'll catch you up. So first thing I want to do is simply read the poem. So here we go. Two roads diverged in a yellow wood, and sorry I could not travel both. And be one traveler long I stood, and looked down one as far I could, to where it bent in the undergrowth. Then took the other as just as fair, and having perhaps the better claim, because it was grassy and wanted wear, though as for that, the passing there had worn them really about the same. And both that morning equally lay in leaves, no step had trodden black. Oh, I kept the first for another day. Yet knowing how way leads on to way, I doubted if I should ever come back. I shall be telling this with a sigh, somewhere ages and ages hence. Two roads diverged in a wood, and I took the one less traveled by, and that has made all the difference. So let's talk a little bit about what the poem says. So you can see right here I've got the poem up for you. If you're viewing this on telecast, and you'll be able to click on this little web screen here, and you can interact with it. Alright, so let's see here. Should be working there. Also, there's a little audio recording on this website, poets.org, so you can listen to it again if you would like. But here is the poem. Let me see if I can make this a little bit bigger. There we go. Okay, first thing I'm going to do is go over some vocabulary. So, the common words that students didn't know the other day, the word diverge was the first one, and that means split. The road split into two. The speaker is walking down the road, it diverges, and it divides into two paths. That was the first word. The second word that was commonly not known was trodden. Trodden. Okay? In leaves, no step had trodden black. And trodden, again, that just kind of means walked on. W-A-L-K-E-D, walked. So no one had walked there, no one had crushed those leaves down into the dirt and turned those leaves black. The third word was hence. Ages and ages hence. And that means from now or sometime in the future. So the speaker at the end there says, sometime from now, someday into the future, I will think about my decision and I will sigh. Maybe nostalgic, maybe a little bit of regret. I tend to think of it a little as nostalgic. I think there's kind of a positive tone here at the end. But so let's just go through first stanza. Two roads diverged in a yellow wood, and sorry I could not travel both. And be one traveler long I stood, and looked down one as far I could to where it bent in the undergrowth. The traveler is walking down the road. He sees it split into two, and he stands there a long time because he's got to make a decision. There's two roads. Which one does he pick? And so he starts looking. He looks down one as far as he can down the undergrowth. He looks to where it bends, but he can't see where it ends. So he decides, I'll look at the other factors. Which road is best? And so in the second stanza he says that he took the other as just as fair and had perhaps the better claim. So he looks at one and says, maybe that one's the best one. It might have the better claim. But then he says, well, though as for the passing there, they had both been worn about the same. They're both got some nice new grass. No one had squished that grass down. The trail had not been really cleared. It was kind of this fresh, clean, open path. And then he goes on and says that morning equally lay in leaves, no step had trodden black. So the morning leaves had fallen down onto the paths, and no one had squished those leaves, and so it was wide open. The fourth stanza, no, I want to go back and says, yet knowing how way leads on to way, I doubt if I should ever come back. The way this path is going to go, and he doesn't know where it goes, the chances of him ever coming back to the same spot are pretty slim. He doesn't know if he'll ever get to see both options before him again. So he says this with a sigh. Two roads diverged in wood, and he took the one less traveled by.